Raiders start divisional play on the road in Los Angeles. Welcome to Week 9 of the Silver and Black Show. Today, Lincoln and I break down the matchup against the 2-5 Chargers. I sit down with one of the best fullbacks in the game, Alec Ingold, and JT catches up with Coach Gruden to discuss the breakout rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert. All that and so much more on this edition of the Silver and Black Show. Let's do this.
Oh, big stretch for us, and you know that. I mean, any time it's in division, those games mean more than just one game, right? And so, very, very excited for the opportunity that we have, in front of us. But again, we have to take it one at a time. Chargers, they're 2-5, and everyone talks about that, but I mean, they're beating some of these really good football teams by 10, 13, 20 points at some points, and they end up just losing them. However, at the end of the game, you got to watch the film to see, but. Every game, especially in the division, I've been a part of this. I've been an 0-10 team, and when we beat the Chiefs, right? It doesn't matter. When you're in the division, at any moment, someone can beat somebody. So you got to make sure you have a great week and bring it on game day. Because if you don't, especially in the division, you know each other too well. You can't win games if you don't bring it during the week.
What is up, Raider Nation? We are going to bring it right here on the show. I'm Erin Coscarelli alongside my all-pro tackle, Lincoln Kennedy. Hi.
Hey, see, we're going to bring it, huh?
We are going to bring the heat.
All right, let's bring it.
This show, absolutely. Before we talk about next week against the Chargers, your takeaway against the Browns.
I loved it. I loved what I call fat man weather, because you can run all day, you can sweat, you won't break a sweat because it's nice and cold back there. But those are the type of weather games that big guys like me just love to roll around in the mud. It was an attitude game because they ran the ball well, closed out, and beat a pretty good Cleveland team. That's a signature win right there.
They certainly did, and I like that you mentioned fat man weather.
That's
because
right.
the game was won in the trenches. And since I have my all-pro tackle with me, Lincoln Kennedy, what did you make of the performance that came from the offensive line? Because Josh Jacobs certainly was the beneficiary of that offensive line. 128 yards rushing, 31 carries, a career high for both.
Right.
The offensive line coming into the game had some challenges and some struggles, and they delivered.
That's exactly right. The fact is that when you get to those games and you know that you can't pass it because of, the weather or whatever, their conditions, or more importantly, when you look at some of these signature runs that they've had, it's all about attitude. It's about closing out the game, finding ways to win. Now, Gruden's offense has always been about time of possession and control, and that's one of the big parts. When the second half, when they had to have it, the Raiders closed out the game on offense, which is a great, great feeling.
Absolutely. And let's talk about the defensive side of the ball, because we're giving a lot of love to the offense, but heading into this game against the Browns, Coach Gruden said one of the big things that they're going to focus on was the pass rush, and we were going to see some changes. When you called the game, what changes did you see from the defense that you thought was an impressive change?
Well, they changed up some coverages and they made some adjustments, and what you saw blitzing from different angles, and more importantly, they made adjustments to one of the plays that was really being a nuisance for the Raiders early in the game, the boots and the naked boots off a play action run. So I saw, they brought Abram a couple times, they brought Harris a couple times. They also really created sort of a wide perimeter to keep that Baker Mayfield in the pocket when he had to and make plays. So the defense did a really good job of containing the playmakers that are on the Cleveland Browns.
And the Raiders had their first fumble recovery of the season. Certainly taking advantage of that, courtesy of Nick Kwiatkowski. Do you believe we need to take that same pass rush strategy or scheme into this week against the Chargers? Don't answer that. Because we're going to talk about the Chargers
you just asked me a question.
in a moment, because that's what we're going to talk about with Lincoln Kennedy. But stick around. Coming up next, he dominates as a blocker. He contributes as a receiver. Fullback Alec Ingold is going to talk to us about that dynamic Raiders offense. Don't go anywhere. That's coming up next.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, an official beer of Raider Nation made to chill. Presented by San Manuel Casino, official Southern California casino of Allegiant Stadium.
Welcome back to the show. He has quickly established himself as one of the most versatile fullbacks in the league and is among the best in the NFL. Alec Ingold, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Erin. Pumped to be here.
Good, because I'm pumped to have you. And let's start with this, because Monday motivation has become a big thing on your social media. You post a video every Monday to get people motivated. I'm curious, how did it get started and what's the goal?
Yeah, I mean, I think going back to last Super Bowl, I got the opportunity to go down with Josh, the NFL Honors Show. A lot of guys were doing a lot of cool things, whether it was endorsement deals, whether it was radio shows, and seeing Calais Campbell speak and the way he touched lives, I knew I wanted to do something like that. So really just took that and ran with it. Obviously, COVID-19 has canceled a lot of high school seasons, and I just thought, a senior year myself, I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't have a senior season. So just reaching out to the version of myself that's a senior in high school right now, didn't get that opportunity to play ball. Just keep working hard. Just positive reinforcement every single week.
I like that. Another guy that's pretty motivating. How about your head coach, John Gruden? He's got a love for old school football, of course, being well known. And you kind of encapsulate that, being a fullback, running on fourth down, catching passes out of the backfield and down the field for 20 yards. How fun is it for you, Alec, to be a part of this Gruden dynamic offense and to actually be utilized in so many different ways?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little badge of honor. A bunch of us that are here that kind of emulate what Coach Gruden wants in a football team. It's fun to come to work with guys like that. Love football is number one, right? So a lot of guys love football here, and it's fun to kind of go to work and build off of one another. So I know a lot of us have been putting a lot of work in through the days, through the weeks. So we're really building right now, and we're going in the right direction for sure.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch you guys play at home and especially on the road. The Raiders are 3-1 on the road when you guys travel, which is even more impressive with everything that's been going on. A host of different adversities you guys have managed to overcome so far this season. Alec, for you, how different is it for you guys, traveling this year? Maybe is it easier with limited distractions and not having fans in the building?
I mean, I don't know. I love playing in front of fans, regardless if it's home or away. That adversity, I think it strikes a chord with a lot of us. We were talking before we left this last week, and just being a band of brothers. As soon as we get on that plane and we're headed, across the Mississippi River, we're going on a Friday. It's a long trip. No one's back feels good after a 4-hour flight. We just are around each other for 48 hours leading up to game day. So just being with your brothers, there's no distractions. You're just spending time with one another. There seems to be like a slow build. It's a process of kind of getting everyone on the same page, and then we're able to go out there and execute. And I think just being around each other as much as possible in this time, I think that's really what kind of plays into these road wins. I
love that. All right. I'm curious how much Alec Ingold knows his running backs. We're going to play a little game, okay? Are you ready?
Okay.
I'm going to give you some facts about that dynamic running back room. You guys have 3 different unique running backs for you guys in the silver and black. And so I'm going to give you 3 stats, and then you tell me who you think each one is, but I'm going to give them all to you first, okay? So number 1, I played the fewest seasons at my college, but had the most rushing yards of us 3. Number 2, I own more than 150 pairs of shoes. That is a lot, by the way. And number 3, I share a fraternity with the likes of Michael Jordan, Steve Harvey, and Ray Lewis. Know your running backs. Who is 1, 2, and 3, Mr. Ingold?
Man, this is easy. I got Devin Booker at 1. I got Josh Jacobs, although I'm coming up on 150 as well, so we might have to compete a little bit on those shoe game. And then number 3 is definitely Jalen Richard, Mr. Spook himself.
Wow, ding, ding, ding. Alec Ingold knows his running backs. That was fun. Well, good for you. 3 for 3. Well done. And by the way, I didn't know you had so many shoes. That is a lot.
I have a shoe closet, so.
You just have a closet for shoes.
I look up to Josh. His shoe collection is obviously very, it's up there, so.
Gotcha.
I'm just one pair at a time. We're a slow build there.
One pair at a time. Well, hey, listen, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Good luck this weekend against the Chargers. We will be rooting for you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Coming up next, JT the Brick catches up with Coach Gruden. Don't go anywhere. That is coming up next.
This segment has been brought to you by Microsoft, an official cloud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Renfro, the consistent, ever steady, comes in motion over to the left side of the formation. Carr takes a snap, looks in that direction, fires to Renfro. Renfro's got it in the end zone. Renfro with a touchdown that puts the Raiders ahead here in the fourth quarter.
And welcome back to Silver and Black. Raiders head to Los Angeles this week for a battle against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And let's welcome in our quarterback, two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jim Plunkett, to the show. Jim, thank you for joining us today.
You bet, Erin. Good to be here.
It is good to have you there because the Raiders can win through the air, and last week they showed us they can win on the ground. What's the importance of having a balanced offense in this league for you, Jim?
Well, it gives the quarterback a lot of options in that regard. Play action pass, drop back passes. If you're running the ball effectively, they've got to crouch towards close to the line of scrimmage on defense, trying to stop that run. And when you do, you play action them, you get behind them, come up with big plays in that regard. But also in tough situations, weather situations, cold, freezing, hard ground, it's great to have a running game. You take a lot of their ability to stop you. It makes it very difficult if you can run the football.
Well, absolutely, and that's what you want to see with, of course, a postseason opportunity. Weather is bad in the playoffs, and you want to play like the Raiders did when they were in Cleveland last week. Let's talk the other side of the ball, the defense, because Justin Herbert's been absolutely lighting up the stat sheet through the first handful of starts. What is your early assessment of the rookie, Jim?
He's playing very well. They're having difficulty winning. They're just 2-5, but he's got 15 touchdown passes, I think 5 interceptions. So, he's handling the pressure on a young quarterback extremely well. They protect him well. He gets rid of the ball quickly, finds his receivers. So he's doing a lot of good things. He's almost a mature quarterback at this stage, also, although they're having trouble winning football games.
It is so surprising without a preseason, limited camp, to see how it hasn't taken him very long to adjust to the pro level. 3 or more touchdown passes in 4 straight games for Mr. Herbert. Impressive indeed. And the Raiders are beginning a stretch of 3 straight AFC West games. How important, Jim, are these games in determining where the Raiders are at the end of the season?
Well, it's important to win in your own division, your own conference. Get those wins under your belt. It's always a struggle. It's hard to win with your own division at times. On a consistent basis, they get ready for you each and every time you play them, and the Raiders in particular for whatever reason. But it's important to continue to play well, whether you're in your division or not. But get those victories under your belt. It's a long way to go still, and hopefully they can get that done. Playing the way they're playing, I think they're improving each and every week, and that's a big plus.
Well, each and every week we are grateful to get our Super Bowl winning quarterback, Jim Plunkett, on the show. Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Erin.
All right, from Jim Plunkett to our head coach, JT the Brick, caught up with Coach Gruden ahead of this Sunday's matchup against the Chargers.
We welcome in Raiders head coach John Gruden. And Coach, a week ago, you sat here and told me about the weather. You had it figured out. You're from Ohio, and you were right. It was like you were closing out the vet back in the day. Now you're back to 85-degree weather in Vegas. What a great win.
It was a great win. It was a good team win. I thought we played well in all 3 phases, and we beat a good Cleveland Brown team as well.
That was a ground and pound slugfest. We got a couple of plays, breakdowns with Josh Jacobs and Devontae Booker. Let's take a look at the plays.
Yeah, JT, we used a little motion, Darren Waller, to create a certain front, and we ran the ball from the I formation, which is a pretty traditional formation. You don't see much anymore, but you got to credit not only the guys up front, the effort of Josh Jacobs, but the fullback, Alec Ingold. He didn't show up on the stat sheet, but when you're running isolations, it's the fullback's lead block on the linebacker that really gets the tailback to the second level. But Rodney at center, Gabe Jackson at left guard, Colton Miller, Gabe Jackson, Brandon Parker snuck in there. Look at that double team on the backside. And Jacobs started feeling it. And when a great back feels it, you give it to him again and again and again. And this was late in the game. We were in a 2 tight end, 2 back set. We ran an old school G lead, something we ran back in the early 2000s when we were with the Raiders, JT, and Gabe Jackson kicks out the corner. Once again, it's the fullback cutting the linebacker, and Jacobs hurdling a rated a daylight, putting the game away. It was an awesome executed play.
And how about the performance against Myles Garrett? What about that? The depth again and getting their hands on him and slowing him down a bit.
Well, that was big. You know, he's a great pass rusher. He's a great defensive lineman, but it's just not Garrett. They have Sheldon Richardson, Olivier Vernon. They have a high-priced front, and it really helped us, I think, that we have a complimentary back in Devontae Booker, number 23. We got into the shotgun in a two-back set. We ran an inside zone, and if you just look at Gabe Jackson at right guard and Sam Young's in there, it's just an excellent effort by a lot of guys. And how about that finish, JT? That's what a Raider's supposed to do. That's an excellent job.
It was fantastic. The energy level was so high. Now we go to Justin Herbert. Let's get to his breakdown. What a year he is having. Big in the pocket, takes shots downfield, and he's got to coach a couple of big play wide receivers.
No doubt, when you have Keenan Allen on one side and you have big Mike Williams on the other, they can create some 50-50 opportunities with the way they're running the football. And I'll give Justin Herbert credit. He has thrown the deep ball extremely well, and he's given guys like Mike Williams plenty of opportunities. We got to be very mindful of their vertical passing game and how they like to use Williams, especially right outside the red zone.
Coach, the pass rush coming up the middle like you want to do against Brady or on the edge, because he can make plays outside the pocket. What do you see with him outside the pocket and how dangerous he could be?
Well, you know, at Oregon, he was well known as a read option quarterback, a dual threat. This man can get the ball on the perimeter. He can run it himself, or he can buy time to create throws down the field, and he has all the awkward deliveries that a lot of the veterans have. This is much like Ben Roethlisberger's done for Pittsburgh for many years. That's a big-time play. I'm really impressed with Herbert, so we have a lot of work to do in our preparation for the Chargers, but it's anybody's game right now. Just stay healthy, wear your mask. Can't wait to see you, JT.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in L.A.
Thanks.
This segment has been brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Welcome back to the show. EC and Link with you. Let's talk Chargers, because they are coming off a really close game against the Broncos. It was looking like they were going to take it. What do you believe, Link, is the challenge ahead when you think of the Chargers?
Well, first of all, you don't want to get into a shootout because they have the offensive firepower. They were second in the league, almost 415 yards per game, which is a lot. And Justin Herbert is playing phenomenal. I mean, here's a smart kid. I covered him in college out of Oregon. You know, he was a 4.0 student in biology.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I mean, he's been playing phenomenal. He's very athletic, and he's the future franchise quarterback for the Chargers. There's no doubt about it. They've got weapons on offense, so you don't want it to be a shootout. So that's why time possession comes in really big in this game. But this is an offense that you really have to keep your eye on because they can jump ahead to you real quick, as they've done in 4 games this year.
You mentioned you followed him in college at Oregon, and you follow the Pac-12 pretty closely. What did you see from Herbert in college, and are you surprised at how quickly he has transitioned from the college level to the pros?
No, because even in college, he had a couple of coaches during his time was in there. You know, he had Willie Taggart and Mario Cristobal coaches out of Oregon. So he had to make transitions to different styles of offense. He did very well. I mean, he was one of the Heisman finalists during his college. So this is a very good player, and he's a very good quarterback.
Do you think he's the best of the rookies? I'm talking, we've got Tua, you've got Burrow, and then you've got Herbert.
You know what? It's hard to say because when you look at Burrow, he's doing well with Cincinnati. He has a little bit less to work with as far as weapons, but Herbert has made the most of all their weapons, and they're still somewhat of a rebuilding phase for them. So this is a dangerous team.
Burrow didn't have a 4.0 in biology.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't know what I don't know what grade point he had.
Getting a 4.0 in biology sounds crazy, but for whatever reason, it is not translating into wins.
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you, what do you believe is the problem? Why the Chargers cannot seem to close out games?
It looks like, from appearance outside looking in, it looks like they take their foot off the throttle. And what I mean by that is that they jump out to these leads and they try to get conservative and milk the clock. There's a Creole in the National Football League. You want to keep your foot on someone when you have them down, and it looks like the Chargers have got away from that a couple of times. Look, everyone's good. You know, they get paid on the other side of the ball. So when you allow good quarterbacks like, you know, the great one right there and Tampa Bay come back and beat you. That's unfortunate, but Drew Brees and Drew Lock got the best of them when they were in Denver last week.
Well, okay, and so let's talk about the defense because they've got a couple of solid edge rushers in there with Melvin Ingram. You've got Joey Bosa, who's currently being evaluated for a concussion. But does the performance that we saw from our offensive line against the Browns give you confidence against the Chargers pass rush?
It makes me cautious. I mean, look, Myles Garrett seemed to be hobbling around, but he's still dangerous. And the offensive line did a great job, especially Colton Miller and Brandon Parker. This time around, depending on the concussion protocol, Joey Bosa has 4.5 sacks in the season. He's always dangerous. We'll see if he's able to come back and play. But Ingram is also another one that you got to watch out for. This is a defense that can get after you with only 4. They made things chaotic for Kansas City when they played them early in the year. So this offense, the offensive line has really got to be careful when they play.
It was a close game
Absolutely.
in Kansas City. I don't remember the score, but I think they only lost by 3 points.
Right. They made it interesting.
They did. They made it interesting. And the good news is what we're seeing from Derek Carr is when you throw a pass rush at him, the guy likes to run the ball. So certainly like to see that.
Slide, Derek, slide.
Just let's work on the sliding part of that. You called it last week when you said the key to victory was to keep Derek Carr protected in that offensive line. I'm going to ask you that same question again. What is the key to victory to getting a W in Los Angeles against the Chargers?
Time of possession. You've got to keep it away from the opposing offense. There's no doubt about it. As I mentioned earlier, the Chargers are dangerous on offense, and they've got a lot of weapons. So you've got to win the time of possession. Run the ball, get first downs, and obviously get touchdowns.
You heard it from Lincoln Kennedy. That is the key to the recipe for getting the W as they look to go 5-3 Week 9 against the Chargers. For Lincoln Kennedy, I'm Erin Coscarelli and Jim Plunkett. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
This has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Las Vegas Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights. Book now, only at Allegiant.com. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Twitch, the official live streaming partner of the Las Vegas Raiders.